Hello. It is Antonio. This is gonna be part one of, I think, 12 parts of a thing that I'm working on here. If you are a player of campaign 1 and 2, you'll be um, reminded of this system that I have in place here. If you are a person that usually plays with me in person, then this doesn't really, you don't have to pay attention to this. But yeah, right now I'm remaking everything from campaigns 1 and 2 into a website currently, updating a lot of things. And what I wanted to focus on first was the classes. So we have a decent amount of classes that are already finished. There should be 25 classes when it's done. A big difference that we have here is that instead of, if you remember in campaigns 1 and 2, we only had one main caster. Now in this one we have 4. So very, very cool. You can see that there are classes that are here that weren't here before, again, like Warlock and Sorcerer and Paladin. So all of them have been reimagined into what I would think that I would have thought they would have been in campaign 1 and 2, or in our first couple of campaigns. So all the classes have been looked at, redone, fixed up to what they should be. And just saying, this is like, I have a main website, but this is the prototype. So this is what it kind of looks like for the majority of it, except like art and etc., to make it look decent. But I think to show you some newer stuff, we're gonna drop down to the druid. So again, we have the little description of what the class is. We have traits like in campaigns 1 to 2. Every class now has at least 2 passives, and this class having 3, able to talk to animals. You have a new thing called animal slots. So when you get to a certain level, you get to pick ability slots or a spell slot. Now, as a druid, you get to pick an animal slot. With the animal slot, you're able to make your own animal with its own passive and its own ability. So that's fun. So druids are a lot more interesting in this new system we have in place here. Of course, they have all their abilities, which their abilities are pretty cool. They are able to turn into animals with stamina. With the animal slots, you used to use mana to turn into animals. But with the abilities, you're able to turn into animals, and also you're able to give yourself animal-like abilities and your teammates. So that's super different. The last druid couldn't do some of the stuff that I just mentioned. Example, like owl eyes, you're able to see in the dark, and you get extra bonuses to perception and survival, and you can also now give it to teammates. Deer legs is very cool. You can give that to your teammates also. Sound of the bear, that's also something new, but you get to turn into different animals and etc. Very cool and different from what we're used to. If you go down to even a barbarian, I tried copying everything that was from the book, the Minecraft book, because again, we built this all in Minecraft, and we changed up some of stuff to make more sense, and wanted to feel better when actually played. So again, barbarian, every time you use the ability, you get more mad. And there's no AC, so it's just pure damage. So damage reduction is everything. Rage makes it so you can go all the way up to taking 15 less damage for every single attack thrown at you. So pretty cool. And a lot of the abilities have changed, and a lot of them are recognizable, like this one here over this one. But they are all new and beautiful. And if we go to something that has been reimagined, so again, in campaign 1 and 2 there wasn't a paladin, which the paladin here is very cool. They have Shield of Faith, which you take 10 less damage for every oath you have. You take less damage, and now you have a new passive called Oaths. Oaths, for a paladin in mind, make your ability stronger because every oath you take, you have a better connection to your god. So you have Divine Tokens and Healing Grace. Healing Grace is Healing Hands, pretty much. The numbers are a little bit off here, so those will be changed later. But you have a pool of healing, and then you have Divine Tokens. Divine Tokens is what you can use for Divine Smite and Divine Healing. Divine Smite works a little differently, but you get to roll a 1d8, and then every token you add times that number. So if you get a 6 and you add in 2 Divine Tokens, it would be 6 times 3, which would be 18 points of damage. And the same thing with Divine Healing. You roll a 8, let's just say you get a 7, and then you put 2 more Divine Tokens in, it means 21 health for a teammate. So, very cool. Divine Tokens are pretty sick. Here's the Oaths. So, you, as a Paladin, have to take 2 Oaths no matter what. Does not matter. And you could pick up to 5, and then every, I think it's 35 levels, you have to pick a new one. Which your subclasses give you new ones if you don't like the ones on the list. But there's a basic Paladin oath list, which is this here. So for example, if I had healing hands, you may not let others suffer for what they do not deserve. Help people in need, even if it's something small. Okay. Or if I have ending life, you will not end a life. It is not your decision to end a life. Undead, devils, and demons are okay to be killed. So you won't ever end the life. So those are 2 oaths that my paladin has. And because they have those oaths, I cannot break them. And there's no oath breaker or anything. If you break an oath, you become pretty much useless. There's some abilities that you're able to use that don't have oaths under them. You're allowed to use those abilities. But there's a whole... To repair your connection with your god, you have to roll religions to fix it every single night until you meet a certain number, and those rules are right here. Breaking an oath. The paladin abilities were pretty cool to make, just because this is a class that is normally to D&D. So reimagining it into the system that we had before was fun. Holy Sense is like Divine Sense, except you get insight advantage, so you can see people are lying. Blessing Smite is a more of a damage one. Blessing of a Steed is you get to spawn in a horse, which is pretty cool. You get to make a wave of holy energy to push people around. So this is an example. A lot of them you can look at almost every single ability, but here's a good one just to show you what I mean when you have more oaths, your abilities get stronger. So in a 10-foot area, your god will try to keep everyone safe around you. Everyone in the area will take 1 less damage in your area, which in general does not sound good. It will last 3 turns. Every oath you have will make people take 2 less damage. So because we're by default have to take 2 oaths, that means everyone in the area is taking 5 less damage. Now, think about it, if you had 5 oaths, then everyone in the area is going to take 11 less damage. Okay, now we're cooking, Now that sounds like something that people can get behind. And also 5 more fate to your area for every oath you have. And that's with pretty much everything. So again, every oath you have will make it so they lose 2 accuracy, blinding faith, blessing from the gods, gives you +1 for every oath you have. Again, all of them pretty much have oath-like bonuses. Every oath you have will make people do 2 more damage. Smiting area is pretty cool. It's like the reverse of protection area. It gives you more damage. Again, it has the same thing, so everyone gets +1 damage in your area. But because you have 2 oaths, you get 4, so that's 5. But if you have 5 oaths, then that's 11 points of damage for every person in your area for 3 turns. Very cool thing. Given wings, you grow wings from your body, and you're able to fly to a teammate with just 10 stamina at 120 feet. But every oath adds 25 because you have 2 oaths that you take. That means you are flying at speeds at 170 feet to a teammate. Very cool. Very, very cool. Dying Faith is really cool. You get to roll religion on someone. You make them look into their religion, and if they lose, you get to pick if they move forwards or backwards away from you. Guardian of the Gods is super cool. It is this giant thing that follows you around this holy night, and they'll keep on doing damage, and they have a pool of attacks where they have 3 attacks, and you can use them in 6 rounds. So pretty cool. Holy Shield, super sick. You get to make a shield around someone or yourself, so that's pretty cool, and they're not able to drop to 0 health points. Sharing the Faith is pretty cool. Beacon, not bacon. Now we come down to the last couple of abilities, like Magic Blessing. Use 50 mana to get a divine token back. Pretty cool. Holy Fist spawns a giant fist out of the sky to smash down. Holy Light allows you to light up a whole map. And I don't mean like a room or anything, but the sky itself. Very, very sick. Corrupt Light is very, very cool. You get to just like... they have to do a certain amount of damage to you in order for them to stop this damage here. And it just keeps on doing a large amount of tick damage. And then Vessel of God. You let your God control your body, and you have a fly speed equal to 3 times your movement. Awesome. Every oath you have adds 10 over health. Okay, so if you have 2, then you have 20 health, or over health, which over health is just temporary health. And then if you have 5, then obviously that's 50 over health. So you just become a god. And you get 3 extra attacks, and you're able to use divine tokens, you get to use divine tokens for extra attacks. So if you have 5 divine tokens and you use this, then you have 5 extra attacks. Pretty cool. The Paladin is, I feel like, the essence of campaign 1 and 2, how it would be structured and how it will be played. Super, super cool. Now, we do have, other things that have been reimagined, like Ranger. Ranger has now Mark of the Hunter, where you're able to use mana to make someone glow. And when you make them glow, you're able to see them at night, fog, water, or invisible. You also do more damage to them. Something like Rogue. Rogue has been highly changed. They have, again, a new passive. They've only had 1 passive before. And then they also get Sneaky Dice. Sneaky Dice are fun to use. To add stealth, sleight of hand, extra movement, and extra damage to your turns. Super cool. Super, super cool. And they have some new abilities, some old abilities there. And then we're going to check out some of the new spellcasters, and we'll come back. So the Sorcerer, the Sorcerer gets their power from like genetical reasons, and because of that they have like a natural talent, so they get to do little wacky things to their spells. Like each of their spells are able to have 2 damage types, which is cool. And they have sorcery points, and sorcery points can add damage to a spell, or make a spell cost less mana, add more feet to a spell, and do a bunch of wacky, goofy things with their spells by using sorcery points to do so. So that is quite interesting with the Sorcerer. For the Warlock, you are a damage dealing spell user. It might cost large amounts of mana, but you can cast and also sacrifice your own body in order to produce more damage. So the Warlock, they are wisdom based, and they are going to, when you're making spells, you get to roll extra 3d6 for damage, but you also roll extra 2d6 for mana to use said spell. And you get abilities as a Warlock. You're not just a full-on spellcaster. You have some abilities. you can trade your health, so 1d10 worth of health from you to add 1d10 worth of damage to your spell. You can all do that all the way up to 5d10 of damage. 5d damage. I mean, that could be 50 points of extra damage that you do with the spell that only costs 10 stamina. Of course, it costs you some of your health, which could be 50 points of health, which is nothing to laugh at. That's a lot of health, but Warlock is pretty cool. And then Wizard has been reimagined a little bit, making it so their spells in general are good. Their damage, like they can add extra stuff to their spells when creating a spell. And then they get a new thing called a Wizard token. So every 10 levels, and this was in campaign 2, but I don't think anyone, except one person, this was a later update. So every 10 levels, you get a Wizard token. With a Wizard token, you can destroy a spell and recreate it to something different. So this is really good for low level spells, and then destroying them and then remaking them into mid to high level spells. But you can also destroy in-game a Wizard token to get 3d10 mana in emergency. So, but you only get 10 in your lifetime because you go up to level 100. And then they get extra use stamina to increase their spell damage or stamina to increase their spell range because they're really good spells. The Cursed Oracle is a new one, and it's very, very much inspired by the anime JJK. So pretty, because right now that's what I've been watching, and it's been pretty cool. So instead of mana, you have cursed mana. Cursed mana being very different. You don't get it from sleeping or anything, but doing and killing or causing harm to people. So that is pretty unique. Cursed mana, cursed entrapment, and then cursed slots. So you get cursed mana from getting nat 20s on damage rolls and then adding that damage to your mana. Killing a target medium or bigger, you'll get 3d10 cursed mana. And then things that are killed around you, if things are just generally dead around you, you get 2d8 of cursed mana within the range, which they are a strength source, like wizard, I guess. This is more of a melee based kind of wizard or magic user, if you may. So cursed entrapment, when you have max cursed mana, you are able to unleash this cursed entrapment, which makes a large range around you and basically just traps everyone within it. And the only way to take it down is either to counter it with the other cursed entrapment, which that's a whole rule system there, or you can knock down the person that has casted cursed entrapment. Cursed entrapment, when you put it down, you have to wait 3 turns, and then once those 3 turns are over, you at the end of on the 3rd round, you get 3 actions, 3 bonus actions, and 3 times the movement, and all attacks do max damage. So that is very, very fun. Very cool. It's a very much a setup class. You have to first get the cursed entrapment, and then you have to find someone or find a group of people to set it entrap. But very cool. And then obviously all cursed oracles can feel when someone's about to entrap them, so they can counter entrapment. So when they do this, they use any mana or any cursed mana that they currently have and put it into a roll. The rolls get very high, so it's very fun. All the rulings right there if you'd like to stop it. But if they're able to counter a cursed entrapment, they turn that cursed entrapment into their cursed entrapment. So if someone wins a cursed entrapment roll, then it can really kind of twist the tides there, making some pretty cool moments. So that's pretty exciting. Cursed slots are pretty cool. You can make a new cursed entrapments, upgrade an old one, or you can use a make a curse slot or cursed ability, which a cursed ability is again, these ones also get some abilities, not a lot, but they get abilities, and you can make it so instead of using stamina, it uses cursed mana. So very, very, very cool. Again, a bunch of changes going around. Like again, Bard has set the stage, so every single ability makes it so you can enchant your normal ability with mana and roll performances to add extra to make the ability stronger. And that's how most of everything is. Everything has been pretty much updated, but this is the first log and the end of the first log. I hope that everything looks exciting. There's a bunch of stuff coming out, and I'll be making one every Friday. I will try. But thank you for watching. We will see you later. Bye bye.